Hey, you're listening to No Limits, episode 136. And in this episode, Sam will hold his breath until he passes out. Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Sam and Bree. You're listening to No Limits, a PlayStation podcast, episode 136. Remember, you can find the video version of this pod over on youtube.com/Save the Game Media every Tuesday. And while you're over there, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you would rather listen to audio, we are on all your favorite podcast services. We would love it if you could leave us a review. It helps us grow, and we would love any feedback. If you want to support us and get early access to all Save the Game Media content, head over to patreon.com/Save the Game Media and choose the tier that's right for you. Just like our current patrons did: Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Nikolai Knight, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, David Hodright, Dave Hart, the Xbox Expansion Pass, Lena Navarro, Sil Can, Ellie Rhodes Parker III, Chadwick Davis, and Dinklebam. Also, please interact with us in the Discord. Links in the show notes. Sam, why are you pulling your lower lip over your face? Yeah, put it back.
I don't have a good answer.
Put it back. Put it back. Put it back.
I put it back.
Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out.
I don't miss not being here.
What? What, Bree? Cut it out. Cut it out.
I'm sorry, Sam. You don't miss not being here?
Is that what I said?
Yeah, that is what you said. I don't think it's what you meant.
No, it's not what I meant.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
I feel like you might have meant the opposite, but
Yeah.
Okay.
Inferred.
It's okay. On the post show last week, Taylor got in trouble several times from Kevin. He was like, Taylor, stop making those noises before I strangle you. It was so funny.
I was making vroom vroom noises.
You were making way more than just that. You did your little like screech thing.
What are you talking? What are you talking about?
Like you like randomly scream, and Kevin was like, "What is happening?"
Sounds I don't know.
So funny.
It's not just it's how I am.
Who won the trivia?
Kyle?
Bree won.
I honestly don't remember. I know.
Wouldn't it be funny if I won again and I wasn't even there?
That would be funny.
Yeah.
Sad day.
Thanks for that, guys. That was good.
You wouldn't have won. There was too much anime.
There was not that much anime. There was 5 questions.
Any anime is too much anime.
Mega Man. There was Mega Man anime.
Whatever, you like Spirited Away.
Some fighting game stuff.
I probably would have lost.
Yeah, it was a rough one for me. Which one wasn't rough for me, but also I probably would have lost my own board. If I'm being honest.
What?
If I wasn't the one that like was like not competing. Like if I wrote the questions like a couple months in advance and then forgot them, I probably would lose my own board. Hi. It's okay, guys. We all have our talents, and clearly trivia is not mine. Or Jeopardy or anything like that.
I do.
That's your talent?
Have trivia. Yeah, that's about it though.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's your only talent. Trivia.
I'm also very funny.
Uh-huh. That's very true.
Fight the truth all you want. It's okay.
Sam, it's hard for me to believe you when you lie about how funny I am all the time.
Is it lying?
Yes.
Or are you just in denial?
Because I know that you laugh at my jokes. I've seen it.
Fake news.
Oh, Luna. All right. Well,
Taylor's
Sam,
just staring into the
he's gone.
abyss.
He's gone. Sam, what have you been playing recently?
The game of life, people.
It's a good board game.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Good cereal.
It also not true.
It's good cereal. You never had life cereal? Top, get out of here. I hate you.
When life gets lemons. What have I been playing?
Oh, wait. Can't talk about it.
I can't talk about what I'm playing now, which is annoying, but that's how it always goes.
It's Bloodborne 5, guys. I know it.
It is. It's true. I can't remember because I obviously wasn't here last week. I don't know if I was able to say the week before. I don't think I was. But I've been playing Adam Fall for IGN. Pretty much fully finished with that project now. Safe to say, didn't really like the game. I think it's pretty middling at best.
Okay.
And just not good at worst. Like if you want Fallout, go play Fallout. If you want Stalker, go play Stalker. And Adam Fall is kind of trying to be a bit of a mix of both, and also being like an open narrative thing. And like it hits a few things well, but most things it's just sort of like average, which is not good enough really these days. Which is harsh, but true. Is there anything else? I mean, there's plenty of smaller things I've dabbled in. One thing I would give a shout out to though, Jacob Geller actually put me onto it because I saw it in one of his video essays. Is a little indie platformer, quite short, called White Shadows. Very Limbo-esque, but it plays on like 1984 mixed with like Animal Farm. It is a very surreal game with an interesting sort of premise, setting, aesthetic. Takes a couple of hours. Yeah, really good. Like basic, but something very unique that I haven't played anything similar to in quite a long time. Probably since Limbo, really, or Inside, I guess. I don't think there's anything else though. I could talk at length about what I'm currently playing because I'm in the midst of it. But
what was that? Is that a copier?
No, he threw a pen on purpose. It wasn't on purpose.
Sounded like a copier.
I did actually like get it out of my hand on purpose. It just clanged more than I intended, which is annoying. But anyhow,
fair enough. What about you, Bree?
What have I been playing? This week, since we last recorded, I don't think I've played video games like at all.
Hell yeah.
I could be wrong.
Could be. You won't ever know.
If I played something, it would have been Monster Hunter. That's all I've really been playing recently. Beyond that, I've just been reading and working. Unfortunately, work has been really crazy busy. So I haven't really been like even watching anything. Just reading books is like my free time. So yeah, that's about it for me. What about you, Taylor?
Fair enough. Little flight sim, of course. God of War. I am now. Where am I in God of War? I am now, about to enter. I think I've just entered Pandora's Temple. And I can tell there's about to be a lot of puzzles, and there's a room that's circular, and I'm probably going to get really confused. What, Sam?
I'm sure you'll manage, Taylor.
I mean, I was able to beat the Outer Wilds, so maybe I could do
He wasn't
that
able to
tomorrow.
get. He wasn't able to get out of the bathroom though. So
No, I got out.
did you? I'm not
Kratos doesn't
convinced
go.
You're not
Kratos
still
is-
there.
He doesn't go to the bathroom in God of War.
Maybe he does
Mm-mm.
in his pants.
He doesn't wear pants.
He wears something. Maybe he
He wears
uses
a
it
cloth.
like a diaper.
He wears a cloth.
Yeah, a little loincloth.
Yeah, loincloth diaper.
Fair enough.
Hmm.
What else? I rented at a nonprofit DVD VHS store that is still running. Cape Fear from 1991 for $5. Good film. Robert De Niro, big Taxi Driver energy from Robert De Niro again in this one. So yeah, and then I saw Blue Velvet last night in IMAX for the first time. Let me some Kyle MacLachlan. Where's it McLaughlin?
Mm.
Sam, how do you pronounce the last name?
I'm pretty sure it's McLaughlin.
And David Lynch film, definitely David Lynch movie. I think it was a good experience. Would I recommend it? I don't know. You have to see a David Lynch movie first and tell me if you'd like the experience or not.
Hmm.
You don't ever really know if you like a David Lynch movie. That's my take. What else? That's it. Yeah. Not that
You
much
obviously watched
games.
the Minecraft movie.
Nope. I didn't. Nope. No thanks.
Chicken jockey.
As Tim Robinson says, and I think you should leave in the car scene. No thanks. Sam gets it.
Sam understands everything.
I do, but where you plucked that from,
That guy yells.
this is getting weirder by the second.
What?
Yeah, and I'm just letting it.
It's not weird. And also work is stressful. And
Yup.
I talked to Sam a little bit about on the pre-show. I don't know. There's an issue I've been working on that I'm unsure about. I thought I resolved it last week, and now I'm going to bring it up again. This is like not the first.
Again?
This is like not the first. It's not the thing I was bringing up before, but it's related.
Oh.
It feels like a cycle, and I'm like, am I too in my head about this?
Maybe.
I don't know.
No way to know for sure.
There's just
Better
a big
safe than sorry.
yell. Yeah, there's just a big yell.
It was
in your
outside
head.
the window.
Okay.
It's okay. Somebody's dying out there. Not important.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
No, it's been rainy here recently, and it's good weather out there today. So there's a bunch of kids running around outside. So
Gotcha. Tough. Shh. I don't want you. Stop it.
This is crazy. You were almost done recording at this time last week.
Ha
ha ha. Because of daylight
That's
savings. Huh? Oh wait, no. Because
no,
the show was short.
because we were
You went like 5
We were
minutes, I think.
focused.
That's a record.
We went 38.
38. We've usually barely gotten started by that point.
Yeah.
Taylor's zoned out again.
Mm-hmm. He has. He's gone.
What?
Sam, I don't think we've asked you on the podcast yet.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Same old.
Have you paid off
Same
your
old.
Tom Nook debt yet?
Have I? If only.
Well, you have the wallpaper for it, so
Eh,
He
Someone just drop a fork in the kitchen.
He
That was again outside.
yeah, it's almost as if you forgot that Bree said that there's people outside.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen like global events, but Tom Nook's had to raise prices, so
So it's impossible to pay Tom Nook off now.
There is
Yeah.
no global event.
There is no Warren Bossing say.
Correct. Nothing happened.
Are we drinking from our Wallace? Okay.
Yep. Little some Awala ASMR for listeners.
you just sound like a sim when you say those words. Like what? You're just speaking Simlish. Well,
That means Charlie Brown. Where is it?
No. I like the Animal Crossing speech the best. That one's my fave.
Yeah.
Luna. Oh my God.
Listen to scratching. Bree, what are all these? There's too much stuff going on. All right. Where you're recording. I'll have to ask you to leave.
Okay. Bye.
No. Shh. Oh, no. No, she's still here. All right.
you've gone and done it now.
No, get back over there. Yeah. All right.
No, Luna she likes scraping the side of her litter box rather than the actual litter.
Interesting.
So anyways, Taylor,
What?
how are you?
No, yeah. Sorry. Like I said, work's
Aside from
stressful,
stress?
and it's found its way outside of work, just still in my head. So trying to work through that. Hopefully, it ends up okay. But yeah. Tough.
Okay.
Hey. Shh. Hey. Shh. Hey. Tough. Ow. Okay.
All right. So the first story, huh? We're doing some thoughts around the room on Nintendo Switch 2, famously known as the PlayStation podcast.
Look, I added it because it is.
You wait, Bree. There's something else slightly further down the topics
Oh
list.
my
that is
God.
completely relevant to PlayStation, like 100%. I've never seen a more relevant story.
Duskbloods is relevant, Sam.
Duskblood
because
is relevant.
It's not on PlayStation. It's not being made or funded.
Oh
by
my
PlayStation.
God.
It's relevant. It's relevant. You better leave it, Taylor.
Why are you gaslighting him, Bree?
I'm not.
You're
I'm
enabling.
gaslighting
him.
you.
You're enabling him.
Uh-huh. And I still want to
Wait.
talk about it.
Where did this 567 come from, Sam?
Me.
Okay.
Finding relevant stories to include.
No, there's like nothing this past week. All right, nothing.
That's just not true.
Okay, Sam, how are you feeling about the Nintendo Switch 2?
Who knew?
The Bloodborne was
PS5 is cheaper than Nintendo Switch, So I guess that's the decision made, everybody.
Cheaper than Nintendo Switch so far. Nintendo Switch 2.
I'm not pre-ordering one. Y'all are crazy.
I'm not pre-ordering one yet because I don't know how much it's going to really cost.
What? They posted the what?
No. Nintendo said they removed their pre-orders because of the tariffs, and they're might readjust the price at a further time.
That's fine.
Toby's like, doesn't matter. What if it's $600?
Well, I'm not buying the bundle.
No, I know. What if the base console turns $600?
I don't think it will.
But Switch 2. I mean, I was there for the live react to the direct.
All right, it's true. There you go. Yeah.
I think the hardware looks good for what it is. I think that it is like surprisingly pricey, and I know that that's coming from like a entitled standpoint. Especially when even at $450 you can get a much more powerful console, granted not portable, but more powerful console for less than that. It's a bit tough, but Nintendo seal of quality, you hope that it is premium, and you imagine that it will be. I think the game price, as most people have latched onto, is the problem I have. Really, again, I'm sure the games that they are charging more for are going to be very, very, very good quality, top tier stuff. But for them to pull the trigger on raising game prices, not across the board, to be fair, it seems yet, but to open the door, I think will green light pretty much every other publisher / platform holder to do the same. We thought GTA was going to be that sort of watershed moment, and it probably will be still, because I think that the whole meme of GTA costing 100 is now actually quite possible.
I'll have to buy it anyway.
Yeah, because they know that you will, in the same way that Nintendo are pulling the moves that they're going to make, that they're doing, because they know that you're going to buy their games anyway.
Will I though?
Yes, Taylor. Yes, you will.
There's so much Switch one I haven't played, Sam.
Yeah, do you know what? There's so much PlayStation you haven't played.
That's what you sound like right now.
Yeah, but I think that like it doesn't feel. I mean, the air has kind of been sucked out of it a little bit because of the pricing stuff. But I also just think that, and I said it in the React, that it just didn't feel quite as like Megaton bombastic, cannot miss type stuff that I was expecting it to be. And I kind of feel like it has to be, especially in today's market, even more so with the tariff situation. So I'm not going to get one for the time being. I'll see how things play out. But maybe like early next year or something. I'll dive in.
And you never got a Switch one, right?
No, which is like, so at that point, I'll have a bit more information to work around. I'll have stuff to preoccupy myself with, obviously in terms of IGN, but also on PlayStation for the rest of the year. So I don't feel like the burning rush to go get a Switch 2.
Yeah, but it
But I
also,
will.
the other thing is like the Switch, because it's backwards compatible, correct?
Yeah.
So you can play some of the other games that you were wanting to pick up on the first one.
Exactly.
So you'll have a good backlog as well. So,
I mean, let's be honest. Sam's only going to play 3 games, all right? Metroid Prime, or 4 games. Metroid Prime Remaster, Metroid Prime 4, Astral Chain. Sorry?
Metroid Dread.
5 games. Metroid Dread. Metroid Prime Remaster, Metroid Prime 4, Duskbloods, and Astral Chain. And that'll be Sam's Switch catalog. Right, Sam? That'll be it.
I mean, I depending on the reviews, I could be very much into
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
Yes. Good job. I still have never watched that trailer, actually.
What?
Donkey Kong trailer.
I do think there's other games that Sam would like. Like I think Odyssey would be like if he gets Odyssey on sale, I think that would be like a fun little, moment.
And also, I think like not that I have any interest in like the IP, but just the game and all I've heard about it. Things like Kirby and the Forgotten Land, things like that.
Yeah, I love Kirby. I love the music from Kirby.
I've been really close to getting Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Like I've been looking at eBay the past couple weeks, just like I should just get it. All right. Well, Donkey Kong looks amazing.
So you were just like blind faithing it when we bid on it in Fantasy Critic. I was assuming that you were like buying into the bid that we were going to make because you saw how good it looked.
I mean, when I heard it was made by the Odyssey team, that's all I needed to know.
I mean, technically, we don't know that, but like,
okay,
it is made by the Odyssey team. Like,
so yeah, I trusted that Nintendo was going to make it great. Let me frame it this way: the last time Nintendo made a bad 3D platformer, I cannot remember. Well, Mario Sunshine. All right, that sucks. I don't care what anyone says. Besides that,
damn. Damn.
But yeah, $51 we bidded for Donkey Kong, Sam.
We did, and we got it.
I think what will be the biggest steal of the year is getting Oblivion for no money.
Yeah, I mean, technically, like we could have. This is a tangent. We could have gotten. Technically, could have gotten Donkey Kong for 45 because Brandon bid 44. But
there's no way
we can just count that extra $6 as getting Oblivion. You know.
All right.
So
yeah, if Oblivion isn't real, I'm gonna be mad. But here's the thing: it's real enough to where. Sorry.
I was gonna say I'm loving seeing the $15 budget.
Hey, we have 3 games left, Sam?
No, we've got 2 games left to fill. One of them is VR.
Yeah. See, the thing is, Oblivion is, it's too likely to. I think it's too likely to counterpick. So that's my take. I'd be surprised if you guys can. The other teams counterpick Oblivion remake.
We'll see. Yeah, but like Switch 2, it's cool. I think it's weirdly in the same vein as like how some people look at even I look at the PS5 Pro, you know. It's like it's going to appeal to the market that it's going to appeal to. I don't know that I have really any like sizable reaction to it either which way, positive or negative. It's sort of like exactly what I was expecting, except I was maybe hoping for like another bombshell game. I mean, obviously things like Duskbloods and Donkey Kong are cool, but as someone on the outside looking at Kirby Air Riders being one of the last reveals, I know it's a Sakurai game and like, oh, it's Sakurai. But the fact that there wasn't a Mario, there wasn't a Smash Brothers, there wasn't, you know, and that can come in time, and I'm sure that it will be revealed or teased this year probably. But like now, basically at point of sale, I felt kind of like underwhelmed, so I'll just hold off for the time being.
Okay.
Interesting. Bree, I mean, you seem ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like I know I'm gonna get one, and then I'll probably get a second one in a couple years when there's some sort of special edition that comes out that I'm really excited about.
Maybe a third.
I did get 3 Switches, so.
Oh my god, that's funny.
I got the launch Switch, but then the launch Switch broke, of course, as I'm sure most people know.
Wait, what? Your Switch broke? I don't remember that.
The launch Switch had a recall on it because of the Joy-Cons.
Well, you just got a new Joy-Con. What do you mean?
Yeah, but you had to send it back, and I don't mail stuff, and so I gave that to my dad.
I don't mail. Yeah, this mailing thing, we need to tear that down. We need to get this mail phobia out of there.
Anyways, so then I bought the Odyssey Switch.
Red.
It was very cute.
And then you got the Zelda OLED.
And then I got the Zelda, and I gave the other one to my dad's girlfriend's nephew. So.
Wow.
So yeah, may as well get the launch one, I guess.
I think fair enough. I think for me, it's one, I need to see what the adjusted price is. Number 2, I think it would take a new Smash. I don't know if a new Mario Kart, new Donkey Kong are enough to get me over immediately. I
don't think with the backwards compatibility, I don't think they have a reason to do another
Smash.
Yeah. Like, I mean, they've said that like the Smash they put out is like the Smash.
Well, for now, I mean, it's been 7. Okay, yes, but also if you're Nintendo, you have an opportunity to sell 30 million more by just making it a little newer somehow. So it's still there incentivized financially to have a new entry, even if it's just a remaster of Ultimate or a deluxe version of Ultimate.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think for me, if you 3D, well, I say 3D Mario, but Donkey Kong like really is it, dude. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the hype will eat me up. And look, the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom are getting some remasters. I still never played.
Good games this time. Yeah.
I still never played Tears. It's having its shrink wrap, and I got it for Black Friday this past fall for $30. My best Nintendo find. Anyway, it's how do you call Breath of the Wild bad?
Very easily.
You love Skyrim, don't you?
Yeah, those games aren't alike in the slightest.
No, they're the same.
I don't remember like weapons breaking every 2 seconds in Skyrim.
You have to just pick up new ones. It's part of the adaptive gameplay, Sam. Get over it.
Really, really fun picking up the Master Sword and then having it immediately break, isn't it?
Master Sword doesn't break, Sam. It recharges.
Yeah, that's fun, having to wait for it to recharge.
Just get another weapon. Pick one up. Sam, why don't you just be resourceful?
Yeah.
Enemies carry weapons that you can pick up too. The game gives you so many opportunities to cycle in and out new weapons as your old ones break.
Yeah.
Really fun climbing up something and then it rains and then you fall.
This is the only part of the game that I will agree with you on is categorically bad. There is nothing in the game you can do to prevent yourself from slipping in the rain when you're climbing. And there's not a potion you can make, a dish. You can't skip. The only way to do it is if you stop and then go try to rest and hope the weather changes in several in-game hours. Isn't that right, Tough? Isn't that right, Tough? Hey, shh. Hey, ow. What are you doing?
Let her go, Jesus. She's like trying to get away.
She was climbing all over me. Yeah.
Silly.
Anyway, yeah, Switch 2. Well, you can use your Joy-Con as a mouse by grinding it on your table.
Sure.
Did you see that?
Or anything else?
Sam, no. Bad.
I didn't say anything.
I'm spraying you with water. Bad.
Okay. Thanks.
No, thank you. Better now. You know that song? From Post? Yeah.
From Posty Toasty?
Posty Toasty. Yeah. Post Baloney. Baloney. Yeah. You should change his name to Maloney.
I don't think he should.
Yeah, let's see. What else for Switch 2? You can get the tech demo for $10. Okay, yeah. I will say the tech of the Switch 2 is very good, I think, for the price. I think the hardware for the price, if it stays at $450 US, is a good deal for what you're getting hardware-wise. 120 FPS, very high quality LCD screen, 256 internal gigs of storage. It's just a market improvement.
Yeah, but then like one of the key features is game chat, and you have to have a recurring subscription to be able to access it.
Yeah, you're not going to do that.
And then on top of that, a lot of the physical games are going to be costing more than the digital versions. And on top of that, the game cartridges aren't going to have the full game on them. They're essentially just keys that let you download the game digitally. And on top of that, Nintendo games never go on sale, so they're always going to cost $80 to $90. So, you know. Just buy a PlayStation, everyone. Very easy. Simple.
I mean, I don't think that getting a PlayStation is a bad idea right now, but I do think that the Switch is really fun. So I don't know if I can 100% agree with you.
Get it out of here.
As a side note,
I just hope that I get in the pre-order thing that Nintendo's doing, because I don't want to order from GameStop.
Well, you need to have it, or you subscribe to Switch Online for 2 consecutive years.
At some point, yes.
Wait, I thought it has to be the last 2 years, is it not?
I don't know. But they did let me sign up for the pre-order.
Oh. Is that how they... So if you're able to sign up, does that mean you got in to their criteria?
I don't know.
Interesting. Let's see. How to buy Nintendo Switch 2.
Very important on a PlayStation podcast.
Wait, where... Where's the thing? Switch pre-order criteria.
What is that? Oh.
This is the news that people clicking on this need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They're like, how can I order a Switch 2?
All right. At least 18 years old. You have to have a minimum of 12-month Nintendo Switch Online membership purchased. You get priority. And priority if opted to share game data. A priority if opted to share game data. What if I didn't share game data? This is weird. So look, it's going to pave the way for PlayStation for their handheld, right? The Vita too, right? It's coming.
Just come in and undercut Nintendo, easy.
Yep.
Hi, Luna.
Hi, Luna.
They said hi. Sam said hi. And
I
Taylor.
didn't.
He said hi.
No. Riveting content.
Now I just like seeing Bree's cat. No, it's good. All right. I guess what? So
Luna being fluffy is good content.
Mm.
All right. Should we just talk about Duskbloods?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's just why not?
Let's do it. Get it out of the way.
So FromSoftware for the Switch 2. This was in the Nintendo Direct on Wednesday, April 2nd for the Switch 2 Direct. FromSoftware revealed the Duskbloods, a Switch 2 exclusive PvP PvE crossover multiplayer title. And FromSoft owns the IP and is self-publishing in Japan. And Hidetaka Miyazaki is directing it. And it's a brand new multiplayer-focused game where it's composed of online matches that are generally the last player standing. And players will team up to take down powerful bosses or find themselves fighting each other in special circumstances. And after each match, players will earn rewards called victory points and return to a hub world to customize and upgrade their character further. And it takes place in a Gothic Victorian setting, very similar to Bloodborne. And it's an online-only game, and it'll have over 12 characters to play as. And FromSoft made it clear when they announced this, they're still going to develop single-player games alongside it, such as the Switch 2 version of Elden Ring. And so you get multiplayer, almost Bloodborne 2. Sam's not really liking this.
He's not. He's real grumps.
Sam, I think it looks interesting. All right.
I think it looks good.
I think, look, I agree. The online only aspect of it, I wish that wasn't the case. And I wish I had more single player centric content, but it might turn into FromSoft's version of Monster Hunter. And if that's or I guess maybe Night Rain, I don't know how similar that would be in that comparison for Elden Ring Night Rain, but I don't know. Seems to me like this could be cool. It's not Bloodborne 2, but it's about as close as I think we're going to get in the foreseeable future.
If you say so.
And this doesn't put you over the edge to get a Switch 2 either, Sam.
No, I'm not even being facetious. I feel literally nothing about this. Like it looks like FromSoft, sure. But and like I might be ill-informed. I don't know that the Switch audience is hankering for a FromSoft multiplayer game.
Do we know how much the Dark Souls 1 remaster has sold on Switch?
I have no idea.
It's sold a some amount.
But I feel like a multiplayer focused game by FromSoftware being exclusive to the Switch 2 is a weird choice. Like I'm sure it will be a draw for some people, but like I think that would be far more the case if it was just a new FromSoftware single player title that you could only play on Switch 2. That would also, by proxy, by being single player as opposed to having to run on online infrastructure, probably run better and be far more stable.
So, bit of information. I'm not sure if this is factoring into anything, but Dark Souls Remastered is in the top 100 games sold on the Switch of all time. It's at 1.15 million, which doesn't sound like a lot, but again, it is in top 100. So I wonder if Nintendo saw that and was like, hey, everybody really loves FromSoftware games. We can't have Elden Ring on our console, so let's pay for something exclusive, that kind of thing.
But the problem is that they do have Elden Ring on the console.
Bree, they have Elden Ring getting a Switch port.
Yeah, but like also...
Switch 2 port. They are. What? They're getting a Switch 2 port.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying, like, I don't know how good that's going to be.
Yeah, it just seems weird to me.
Whoa, if it's because so the Switch 2 is more powerful than the PS4. The PS4 had Elden Ring. Oh wait, that was only the performance on PS5. Yeah, never mind. The Elden Ring performance on PS5, I got a locked 60 when I was playing the PS4 version backwards compatible version on PS5. But if you play the PS4 native version on a PS4, it's 30-ish. So I think you can expect, unless they drop the resolution or institute like DLSS upscaling from NVIDIA or whatever the AMD equivalent is. Wait, they have an NVIDIA chip. I think it's NVIDIA, yeah, for Switch. It could be hovering between 30 and 60, but I don't think it'll go below 30. But yes, the performance will not be as good as PS5. I don't think so. Unless FromSoft has some optimization gurus that they're able to smooth it out. But yeah.
Yeah, it just like, I know Switch 2 is going to be very successful, or you would assume so based on how prevalent the Switch is, but like I don't know that this is the kind of game you should be looking as an exclusive. FromSoft is the draw, but a multiplayer game, when there's so many other multiplayer games that are far more synonymous with Nintendo, that are probably going to be long-standing, both new and backward compatible. I don't know. I'm willing to be wrong. I hope I am wrong, but I just don't know if this is going to pan out crazily well. I guess you could spin it that because FromSoftware owns the IP and is self-publishing, there is a chance that it could be ported elsewhere at some point after the fact.
Right. We don't know how long the exclusivity deal lasts, if not lifetime.
Exactly, because things like Ultimate Alliance 3 never left the Switch. So, and you would assume that that is the kind of game that would eventually leave the Switch, and it hasn't.
Right. That's the only other Switch game you'll play on Switch 2.
That is true, actually. Yeah. So, I don't know. It is funny, though, I will say, my last point. I do find it very funny that like the like race or group that your characters are in the Duskbloods is called the Blood Sworn. You know?
No.
Yeah.
How close can we get to saying Bloodborne without saying Bloodborne?
Duskbloods, Bloodsworn. I mean, I looked at all the creators.
Yeah, I told you it's Bloodborne.
The creators' voice interviews from Nintendo, the transcripts they had with Miyazaki. They never mentioned Bloodborne once. They never referenced it. No, not even in, but you have to be living under a rock to understand.
Because this is Bloodborne.
What Demon Souls to Dark Souls is to what Bloodborne to Duskbloods is. Okay, well, not exactly, but the setting, you can't overlook it.
And I will also point out, Taylor, and we did say this before we started, but this does like quell arguments from some people saying that FromSoft won't be doing any exclusive games going forward. They are very open, clearly, still to making exclusive games for one system. And if they're doing it with Nintendo, they can very easily do it with Sony, whether it's Bloodborne or not. I'm not even doing this as a bit.
It's like, Born Blood.
Truthfully, they can do exclusive games. And, FromSoft, Kadokawa and Sony, closer than ever, heavily investing in FromSoft. So I think there is a chance. Whether it's Bloodborne or not, I don't know. But I don't think that a PS5/PS6 exclusive FromSoft game is unlikely at this point. I think it's actually quite likely.
You think it's quite likely you get a PS6 exclusive Bloodborne FromSoft something game?
Well, not necessarily Bloodborne, but FromSoft, yeah. They're making an exclusive Switch 2 game.
Yeah.
So if they're doing that to shift, I know it's 2026, but if they're doing that to help shift new hardware and they're willing to make that exclusive deal, let's be honest, Sony is going to have the momentum in the premium console space going into PlayStation 6.
Oh my god.
So, you know, and it could be cross-gen. It could be like a late-gen PS5, early PS6 thing. So you still maintain the PS5 audience as well.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I won't be playing the Duskbloods, though. Long and short of it.
That's crazy.
Need more insight.
Ow. Tough. No. Fair enough. Well, we're already 45 minutes in, Sam. I don't know if we're going to get to all of the other stories we have listed here.
Well, we will.
We will.
All right.
We'll just be here for 5 hours.
Story number 2,
we
then.
can keep it quick.
Yeah.
Intergalactic. That I forgot to mention last week. Sam was really mad. So
No one's ever heard of.
Let Sammy talk about it.
I got Kev to make a thumbnail for you guys. You know, like, it's just disgraceful. Yeah, apparently, according to Jason Schreier, Intergalactic isn't going to be coming out until 2027. In a reference to The Witcher 4, Jason Schreier said, I'm pretty sure I said that they were both going to be very early teasers for Witcher 4 and Intergalactic at the Game Awards. Neither of those games will be out next year. End quote.
How could they do this to us?
That's shocking to me because I've been on record saying that I think it's like at maximum late 2026, considering what Druckmann has said about wanting shorter windows between reveal and release.
Pretty sure I said 2027. They called me crazy.
They did. I'm still not willing to like fully buy in because I think that there is a world where Naughty Dog now shifted away from factions entirely, could well get it out late next year. But yeah, it's a bummer if it's not, if it is 2027. I mean, I'll happily wait that long, but sucks. And the other thing I'll say, because I wasn't here last week, talking about the rumor of Sean Esque working with a secondary team on a second game since he went back in 2021 to Naughty Dog. Maybe that's how they create a buffer between now and 2027, is that there is a Naughty Dog thing coming out between now and then.
No way. That's crazy.
No, I think that's actually, again, pretty likely. There's a chance, I guess, that Sean is heading up the next big Naughty Dog game that's coming after Intergalactic, but for it to have been in development since 2021, that would be like nuts. For it to have been in development in 2021 and for it to realistically be in like pre-pro now as all hands are on deck for Intergalactic, that's like a 10-year cycle by the time it comes out. So I think there's a chance that it is another, whether it's Last of Us, whether it is an Uncharted thing or a new IP, I guess, but like a smaller game. We're getting smaller games from Insomniac. We're getting seemingly a smaller game from Santa Monica. I think there is a non-zero chance that we get a smaller thing from Naughty Dog as well. And that could be something like, I mean, me and Taylor spoke about it a week or two ago when you weren't here, Bree, but like Neil Druckmann had said about wanting to do a side story about Tommy after The Last of Us Part 2. And he wasn't sure whether it was going to be a movie or a book or a game, but he'd like to tell that story one day. Maybe that's something he's handed off to Sean. who did Lost Legacy, which was in and of itself a spin-off from the end of Uncharted 4. So I like that. Not saying it's coming this year, but there could be a Naughty Dog thing next year, maybe.
Yeah. It just feels weird to have Naughty Dog release something like 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I mean, they did that with Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy. Uncharted 4 was 2016, Lost Legacy was 2017.
Yeah, but that was related, like, that's specifically related to a game that just came out.
Sure.
Right? So it's like it's an extension of what is just coming out. And I understand that it would be like different dev cycles and stuff like that, and they would have to do a little bit more work, but they already have the character, like, they already have, like, the engine, the character models, all of that stuff, the voice actors. They already have all of that in line, and then they're just extending that a little bit, right? Versus, like, coming out with something totally randomly a year before a huge game is dropping.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, but I think, like, it depends so much on what the internal mechanisms of Naughty Dog look like nowadays, because I think they actually started development properly on Lost Legacy once Uncharted 4 came out, which meant that they made that game in around a year. Obviously, dev cycles have naturally extended, and then you have to factor in that this might have been in development technically since 2021, but it might have only really gotten a hefty portion of the team from when Factions was cancelled. So there might have been a split that when Factions was cancelled, most went to Intergalactic and some went to this thing, which then would mean that it's been probably, like, actively in development for a couple of years now, 2.5 maybe. So maybe that does mean that, you know, when they hit year 3, we could see something, which would be next year. I don't know. That is hopium in a lot of ways, but I think there is some precedent for it, especially with Sean specifically leading the spin-off projects thus far.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I understand the concern with, like, okay, so he's been in the studio since 2021, right? So what has he been doing, right?
Mhm.
I understand that portion of it where it's like, okay, so it'll be like, you know, maybe 4 years, maybe 5 years. That's plenty of time for a game. I do understand that logic, but I also am hesitant to think that Naughty Dog would be, like I said, releasing something directly one after the other without them being related to each other. That's not to even suggest that, like, maybe this is like an intergalactic prequel or something like that. Like, I don't think that they'll be related to each other, but I don't know. I don't have an answer, but I'm always happy to see Naughty Dog. So if they want to drop something, I'm not gonna say no.
Amen.
Real.
Like
Real.
Instagram reel.
No. REAL.
Damn. That was a cold shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean real. Like, I agree. Real.
Yeah. Okay, Tyler. Okay.
Real.
Next one.
Sure.
So PlayStation 5 prices may be going up due to the Angry Orange's recent tariff.
The annoying
President
orange's
Trump's
cousin.
Hey,
President
Apple.
Trump's tariffs. Ugh. But hopefully
Knife.
not too much, question mark. Last week, Trump invoked tariffs on both China and Japan of 54 and 24% respectively. Daniel Ahmad reports the good news is that the initial stockpiling, Japan manufacturing PS5 being mid to late gen at this point, profitable on a per unit basis. PS5 Pro likely being priced at $700 in anticipation of some potential tariff impact, means that even with a price increase, the increase may not be as significant as it would be for new tech products. This is from Sammy Barker at Push Square. Man, what a crap time. We don't talk about it much here, but economic collapsing happening, wars happening, lots of just really horrible stuff. It's great.
We're gonna win so much. We're gonna win so much. You're gonna tell us to stop winning. And I'm gonna say no, more winning.
Yeah.
More winning.
This is the first time when I'm like, you know what? What if the world's leading post-COVID economy just said, I'm tired of winning.
Psych.
let's just give ourselves a challenge and dismantle
Send it.
dismantle the global economy for some hopes that manufacturing comes back to the United States. All right, look, I hate Orange Man, but I agree with it. No, I agree that it would be great to have more U.S. manufacturing, but doing it by
But this way,
putting the world into a global recession ain't it. All right, there's good ways to give government subsidies to companies to put products here, slowly incentivizing companies via tax breaks,
yeah,
or direct funding from the government to the companies to start to move manufacturing here over a period of a decade, rather than saying, oh, there's a huge supply chain that we're just going to totally uproot in the span of 24 hours. So, you know, Elon Musk I saw this morning, even Elon Musk came out and said, I think we should have free trade with Europe. I think his Tesla stock going down 50% on top of this. He's desperate.
Whoopsie.
So I don't know what it'll take for U.S. Congress to reverse this. That's the only thing left.
What are you talking about? Europe's looking really fondly at America, I promise.
Oh, that's the other thing. Even if all this is resolved tomorrow, Canada and Europe looking back at the U.S. will not be. I don't ever see it ever being the same again.
well,
Right.
the thing is like we're also like this isn't just about like Canada and Europe. This is about like we're making enemies with a bunch of countries.
Yeah,
right now.
and the Eastern, like China and Japan and Taiwan, I think all agreed that.
No, it was China, Japan, and South Korea.
Oh, South Korea. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
People that historically very much hate each other.
We're like stood together and
This
said,
guy sucks.
said these
They
US
started
tariffs are a bad
holding hands
idea.
and skipping.
Yeah.
Like, I know we're talking about like World War III here. I'm like, oh boy, if only there was a common enemy that you had in economics. If only there was an economic common enemy to rebel against.
If only.
If only. You know, the last time Japan and China saw eye to eye,
Get
I don't
me
know how
out.
long ago.
Get me out.
So anyway, PS5, as a result of this, everything in your life, whether you're American or not, because the US, at least as of the past 80 years, basically ran the global economy. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Was the kingpin kind of the global, basically of the global economy. You're just going to start paying more for stuff, and tech is going to be one of them, considering how much manufacturing happens in especially China, but otherwise East Asia.
Yeah.
So if you haven't bought, go ahead, Sam.
Just specifically in terms of like Sony, they did foresee this, and they did. I don't know how comprehensive it is, but they did start, I think, duplicating their supply chains, and stockpiling inventory in the US. So there is a chance that at least for a small interim period, post all of these taxes and tariffs being implemented, that consumers won't be hit ridiculously hard. But basically, if you're looking to buy a PS5 or any electronic, and actually just anything, if you're looking to buy anything, probably buy it now.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I bought my new gaming laptop for travel in early January because I said I'm not going to wait for Trump tariffs, and I think it panned out.
Yeah.
So if you can hold on for at least, at worst, or I shouldn't say at worst, if you can hold on for 4 years to not upgrade the thing you were going to upgrade, maybe you end up winning.
Just wait half a decade, guys. It's not going to be a problem, I promise.
look, there's enough to play on PS4 for half a decade. All right,
There is.
for me. All right,
You
just
know
like
what's not
everyone
on
else.
PS5 though? A PS4.
You can go get a PS4, get a PT installed PS4. All right.
But you know what's not on PS4, Taylor?
What, Returnal? What?
This little game called Astrobot.
Sam, I'm gonna play it. Oh,
Are you?
aside. Do these tariffs apply to digital goods? I think this is unclear.
I can't
Is it-
see that they would.
Is it digital? But a digital purchase is.
Yeah, but it's not being imported.
But it's a. I guess in the world of digital purchases, the company selling you the content is like PlayStation US, right? Or Amazon US, or Steam,
Yes.
which is based in the US. So technically, it would be considered a US transaction.
Yeah, I mean they have like different regional variants of the PlayStation Store and stuff. So,
But if you wanted to buy a game from the Japanese eShop, how would that go?
no idea. I can't imagine it would be an issue, but maybe.
Well, this is the thing. Trump's going to see it. He might be like, "Oh, these are exempt." Nope. Write it in.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the only solace.
Okay, so I've actually just had enough, you guys.
Yeah.
Actually, I've just
All right. Maybe we should just stop. Yeah.
No, I don't
no
mean
good.
us talking about it. I mean in real life, I've had enough.
It's going very well. I don't know what you're talking about. It's going
Oh.
so well.
My
Hey
401k
Sam,
dipped like 50K overnight. It's cool.
hey Sam,
So
are you open to marrying both Taylor and I
Oh yeah. Speaking of that, yeah.
to get us over there?
rain check.
Damn it.
Sam, push came to shove, you would do it. Hide me in your basement.
But he can't marry both of us. Push comes to shove.
You've seen the. I really shouldn't. No, I'm not going to make that reference. Okay.
Best left unsaid, Taylor, I saw the path you were about to walk down. Just better not.
Okay. Yeah, I'll hide over. I'll ask Scott for help.
Okay, all right.
Scott, yeah.
Okay.
Jeez. Anyway, next story. Story number 5 on our list. Astrobot could be headed to the big screen. PlayStation Productions lead Asad Kazilbash has confirmed the company's quote. Is that how you pronounce his last name, Sam? Right? Kieselbash?
Yeah, I think it's Kizzlebash, but it's just the pause that you did, just looking at the word after you said it.
Has confirmed the company's quote absolutely considering a film adaptation. Quote, those are very early indicators for us to want to try and grow the franchise and grow that IP. So we're constantly looking at that. And I would say that it's not just sort of awards nominations that drive that, he explained. Quote, sometimes we have IP that's just got great stories that a creator really wants to adapt.
Who knew? They want to have a kid-friendly video game adaptation in cinemas. What a novel concept.
Minecraft movie.
Don't think it's really worked out for anyone ever.
The
Mario
Lego
movie. What are you talking about? Lego movie, Mario movie?
I'm being facetious, Taylor.
Okay. Minecraft movie?
Yeah. Did you see how much it made in its opening weekend?
No, is it a lot?
Minecraft, in its opening weekend at the global box office, made $301 million.
Wait, Jack Black is in this too?
What are you talking about, Taylor? He's Steve. He's the main character.
Wait, Jack Black plays Steve?
Yes, Taylor.
I might need to watch it now. Sam, are you going to watch it?
No, I'm not, Taylor. Jason Momoa's in it.
300. So what's the best opening
He's very
box office
handsome.
weekend?
I would assume like Endgame, probably.
Best box office opening weekends.
And I'm pretty sure Endgame like made $1 billion or something in its opening weekend.
Minecraft. So it's not on the Wikipedia list, but Endgame made 1.2 billion in 2019.
Yeah.
Infinity War made 640 billion. So Minecraft would be at number around number 43 or so on the list of highest grossing openings for films. And for the record, almost every film on this list is, or not, I shouldn't say almost every, the majority of the films in this list are all Marvel films.
Hell yeah. But yeah, Minecraft is the biggest opening for a video game adaptation ever. So
Look at them, Super Mario. I guess that, yeah, Minecraft is more synonymous than Mario.
Yeah.
It's interesting, in 2010, who would have thought in 14 years Mario would be usurped as the video game icon?
Who knew? Who knew? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, ladies and gentlemen. A marathon is seeming to be prepping
Like the
for
game that's coming out.
Bree. The
on
segue was
PlayStation.
working. We Marathon is prepping for an imminent reveal. So according to insider Jeff Grubb, Marathon is prepping for a full re-reveal this coming week. Time of recording, it will be this actual week that we're in. During the latest episode of Jeff Grubb's Game Mess Show, he said, quote, Bungie is teasing Marathon right now. Next week, everybody, late next week, I think you'll be able to see a lot more about Marathon at that point, end quote. This comes off the back of multiple social media outlets and online personalities revealing that they visited Bungie this past week and have had hands-on gameplay with Marathon, with impressions to come soon. So this week.
So it's coming this year?
I would assume so. At least like soft launch betas, like you'll be playing Marathon this year, whether it's like a 1.0 release this year or not, I'm not sure. But I would also probably say yes to that. Have it be end of the year 1.0, maybe even sooner. I don't know what their beta schedule is going to look like, whether they're just going to run betas throughout the year to polish, and then once it's like ready to go, implemented tons of player feedback and stuff, then they launch to guarantee that it's going to have the best chance of success.
Who knows? Guess we'll see. Guess we'll watch it happen in real time.
Yeah. I mean, I've said before, I'm not interested. Like PvP, VE isn't really my shtick. But I must admit, like the aesthetics of Marathon, everything I'm seeing, all the screenshots and images are so sick. So I mean, you can always count on Bungie, to be fair, to have good art direction, but this in particular looks really cool. I'm going to give it a shot. If there's like open free betas, then absolutely I'll give it a go. But
I feel the same way.
I need to see the gameplay before I'm like excited about it.
Doesn't really seem like my kind of game.
No, exactly.
But definitely happy to try it out. Like you said, if there's like a free weekend or something.
Yeah. And maybe they have, a unique enough spin on the extraction-y shooter type thing where it is compelling enough for me to stick around, but I'm going to reserve judgment until they prove to me that they do have that. Taylor is going to become sweaty MVP #1 in the world of Marathon, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It's is there single player?
No.
Well,
I guess technically we don't know that yet, but I would assume almost certainly not.
Yeah, unless it is Titanfall 2. The only multiplayer shooter. There are 2 multiplayer shooters in my life that I really enjoyed, and only 2: Helldivers 2, Titanfall 2. Notice all these end in 2. Marathon doesn't. Therefore, I will not like it.
Mm.
Not to be real. So I still don't know enough about Marathon. How Destiny-ish is it? Is it like, team versus team, or is there a campaign like Destiny? I don't.
No, I mean, there's not going to be a campaign. It's a PvP VE extraction shooter.
I
like Escape from Tarkov, a little bit of like Rainbow Six Siege
Rainbow
thrown
Six
in
Siege. Yeah,
there.
I don't think that's really my cup of tea. What about you?
No, it doesn't seem to be any of our cups of tea. But like the vibes and the aesthetic and the music, I'm on board for. So
Yeah,
if
that's
there
the
is
thing.
something about the gameplay that can hook me, maybe. But
That's the
just
thing that'll get us is the vibes.
by genre alone, I don't think any of us are like amped about it. But I will be checking out whatever they show this week. So
you know what I'll be checking out this week? Blueprints.
What? I don't get
so
it.
will I. So will I, Bree. So will I.
It's a game I stole from you guys.
What? I don't get it. Is this like fantasy thing that I'm not understanding?
Yes.
Blueprint? Sam, we're looking at a game called Blueprint.
Blueprints.
I don't know about that game.
Prints, not print.
Doesn't exist.
It does. It very much
It does. And it's going to be a great time.
I've never felt more conflicted. I was like, I'm obviously I want the game to be great, but at the same time, I need it to crash and burn.
You need to crash and burn from being stolen.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, according to who was the insider? Yeah, Nate, it's going to happen. Okay.
And Jeff Grubb and VGC have corroborated as well. So
y'all are screwed. Guaranteed 80.
Well,
Guaranteed.
I mean, Oblivion on Metacritic is above 90.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying being very conservative when I'm saying, Sam. It's at least a guaranteed 80 on the remake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is that like we only have 3 games out, and you guys have 6 games out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're 30 points in the lead, and we've taken on all of our negative points for the year. So
y'all, I'm a little worried about you guys this year.
Yeah, it's not like we've got Metroid Prime. It's not like we've got Death Stranding 2. It's not like we've got Donkey Kong. It's not like we've got Oblivion now. It's not like we've got Outer Worlds 2. None of that. Pokemon, we haven't got that either. Yeah, we're screwed. We're definitely.
I'm not saying you guys are screwed. I'm not saying you guys are screwed. I'm saying at the rate that things are going, it's not looking great for you.
Yeah. Who's winning currently? Points wise?
You have 6 games out.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
6 games.
And we've taken all of the negative points that we're going to take for the rest of the year.
Mina the Hollower is a little sus.
I counterpick. Well, okay. And if anybody's willing to counterpick it, then fine. But that's a really, really, really risky counterpick.
I did not know that you guys picked that up.
Maybe I should shut up, Sam.
I mean, they've said that they're
not know that you picked that up.
They've said that they're ready to go this year. So if you believe that, probably not a good idea to counterpick.
They did say that they were ready to go last year as well. So
they did.
I don't know.
But how many times can they say that?
Well, I mean, when you're looking at Hollow Knight Silk Song, a lot.
Okay, but Silk Song is coming this year because it was in the direct. So, and it said 2025.
Wait, did someone counterpick Silk Song?
No? Question mark?
I don't.
No,
they didn't. No. Wait, who has Silk Song? Kevin does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who has Blueprints? Oh, wait.
That game doesn't exist. I don't know. Anyway, enough. All right. I'm the boss.
Are you? Okay, Shuhei Yoshida speculates that Sony will have to shift away from a focus on graphic fidelity. Shuhei, in an interview, miss you, Shuhei, love you, Shuhei. In an interview with Japanese publication AV Watch, explains that the company has to change its way of thinking. In the transition between PS5 to PS5 Pro, ray tracing improved greatly, and while improving graphics quality is important, it's hard to tell the difference, he comments. That's very true. It is, of course, necessary to offer top-of-the-line graphics to players who seek them, but in order to maintain popularity among a broad user base, Sony will have to change its way of thinking. I do think I agree with this. Like, it's not let's change our focus from graphic fidelity in that, like, we don't care what our games look like. But at some point, there is kind of, it's like, it's not like an exponential growth anymore. It's like, it's kind of a plateau now. And it's not necessarily 100% a plateau, but I do think that it's kind of getting to that point where graphics can only do so much, right? So why not focus on making gameplay better, stuff like that. Gameplay,
Yeah.
story, all of that other fun stuff.
And people like always because this isn't really a new sentiment, people have been saying that Sony should do something similar to this for a while now, but like people view it in such a black and white situation, and it's not. Like people are like, oh well, they're just not going to make the super high graphics games anymore. It's like, well, no, they still can, but the ethos shouldn't be that every single game they put out has to by default be like industry leading graphical fidelity, which is what it has been for a long time. So coupling this with smaller games, think of Astrobot, and playing with the price range, whether it's keeping it 70 or going up to 80 now because of Nintendo, or pricing spin-off smaller games at 40 or 50 or whatever, like mess around. And that can also come with giving up on some graphical fidelity to improve in other areas, or not even necessarily improve in other areas, just give up on some of the graphical fidelity so that your budgets are in control, because your graphic or artists, all of your artist teams in your studios can still do incredible things without having to be like, this is the best looking thing of this year. So you're not going to be putting anybody out of work. You're just going to be prioritizing different things.
And I also think that there's a lot to be said about like graphics being important versus just like having like a charming art style,
Mhm.
And I don't think that it's 100% of games, right? Like I think Ghost of Yotei, right, for example, we want really high graphics for that. We don't want like cartoony graphics for that based on the vibes of the game. But I also think that it's true that a game like Wanderstop is very cartoony, but it also looked good. You
Yep.
know?
Yep. I mean, like, and again, this doesn't mean that Sony won't still have the tentpole, like, oh my God, best looking thing ever type games. They can,
I
but
bet
they can just,
Intergalactic is going to be fire.
yeah, exactly. They can just spread things out a little bit. So let's say, like you just said, Ghost of Yotei looks gorgeous. Sure, it will be. It is aesthetically styled a little bit, but it is relatively realistic, right? So let's say they get that game out. Why not have, even if it's not the full team, a splinter team in Sucker Punch? And they're not a massive studio, but just hypothetically, what if the next thing they did was a Sly Cooper thing? Sly Cooper has an art style that still holds up today. And I can guarantee you that a new Sly Cooper game wouldn't cost the same as a Ghost of Yotei. Wouldn't take as long either. So if they can sort of spread that mentality out amongst their studios and just be like, it's up to you guys. If you want to do something that's a little bit more creative, and plays with these scales and ranges a bit more, rather than everything being, it has to be a Sony AAA blockbuster banger. Because we're seeing more and more nowadays that bangers come in various different shapes and sizes. So
That is definitely what she said.
that is what she said. Yeah, so I'm all for it.
I do kind of wonder, not important, but I do kind of wonder like how much South of Midnight, like their graphics, how much strain that, like what that did to the budget. Like I'm just like really curious, like what something that's like really stylistic like that, very specifically stylistic like that did for their time and budget. We don't have answers, but I'm curious.
Because it's also very context dependent and subjective to like the studio that's doing it, right? Because like in terms of South of Midnight, there's no doubt that it looks really good, but Compulsion, I don't think I'm being controversial here, isn't the best team in the world. And South of Midnight very clearly, from all the reviews, has a lot of problems. Visuals and music not being one of them, but like gameplay and stuff. So that's kind of like almost the epitome of the argument that like South of Midnight, no doubt, is a gorgeous game, but in the same way as like Hellblade 2 is a gorgeous game, what are you sacrificing to get that? And are the returns you're seeing worth those sacrifices?
I also wonder how much of it's like, how much are you sacrificing versus just like the team not coming together on those projects? Because you do also have to remember that those are separate teams, right? Like the graphics, art, all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
of
That's
course.
one team versus like gameplay versus like story versus like production. They're typically teams that are separated, and the way that they combine is through the production team.
Mhm.
So it's I'm not saying that it's not possible that the graphics did end up having an effect on other things, like, oh, we put all this budget here, now we don't have budget for story and gameplay, but it's also just as likely that it could just be that the gameplay and the story, like, weren't as well thought out as they should have been, that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. And not like ass kissing, but that's the reassuring thing about pretty much all of Sony's first party teams, is that I don't think we would have those concerns because of just how seemingly like well oiled the teams are because of the products that they've been giving us.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, this shakeup could again like shake up things and cause some issues, but I don't know that it would. I kind of feel like if you're at the very pinnacle of the medium, as a lot of these teams are, and you step down a little bit, that's relieving pressure, I think, not applying it. So I think that doing these kind of things, smaller games, controlled budgets as a result, not mandating smaller budgets, but just scoping for smaller games, and therefore the budgets don't explode and they don't take as long to come out, and that resolves pipeline issues and content issues. I think it's a win-win, and it means the teams and the people working in the teams can have more and more stuff in their portfolio because they're getting products out that aren't taking them half a decade or longer, where by the time they leave the industry, they've maybe, if nothing's been cancelled, shipped like 3 or 4 games total. And like, that's a bummer, I would say. Even if they're like 10 out of 10 amazing genre generation defining games, I would be like, I don't know, I want more stuff in my roster, So yeah.
I agree with that. Well, anything else that we wanted to talk about? Because I don't see anything else here, so just making sure.
I don't think so.
All
Let's get
right,
to the post show.
Taylor, do you want to hit us with that outro?
Yeah. Thank you all so much for listening. You can find us on YouTube, Save the Game Media, Discord. Links are on the show notes. Where can people find you, Bree?
You can find me at Fabulous Brianna, FabulOusTBreanna.
All right. Sam?
That's Armeni, HEANY.
Cool. You can find me at Mr. Carter9. That's MrCarternine on PlayStation, and TPR on Discord. And yeah. And TPR hashtag 6868 or pound, if you like pound, on
Who doesn't?
Xbox. I want to make some pound cake.
If you like pounding.
Whoa.
Everyone feels that way at some point, Bree. All right.
They say to end it with a bang. So
see you guys in the post show where we put Brandon's Jeopardy board under Sam's guys and we make him take it in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Bye.
So if you're not a patron yet, I want to hear that.
Come join.
Sign up.
I'm busy. I'm busy.
Yeah. Nope. It's gonna happen.